Hello everyone, Ivory here. In this video, we're going to be going over Streamlabs OBS and we're going to be teaching you how to set up everything so that you can start doing content creation on YouTube, Twitch, or wherever you personally want to produce videos or possibly even stream on. We'll be going over how to set up your overall files, your overall overlays, and a lot of different just tips and tricks so that you can start producing your content like a pro. All right, everybody, so we'll go ahead and get started here. As far as if you are just brand new to Streamlabs OBS and just trying to get used to everything, there's a lot of different moving parts in it as far as on how you can kind of structure your overall overlays, different things that you can actually customize, and really just a lot of different features that are really built into it. So don't get too afraid of the overall process. I mean, there's just quite a bit to it and a lot of different things you can do with it. It's a very intricate and versatile system. In general, we're going to be taking a look at everything here and just kind of going over the overall works of it. Just kind of getting started here. At first, we'll just kind of jump into the overall options. You'll be able to see as far as in the cog wheel in the bottom left corner. You'll go and jump into there's a bunch of different general information you can kind of go through here. It can kind of show your overall cache directory, delete your overall cache and restart, upload cache to developers. As far as it's kind of a little bit of system there just to try and keep all your overall information kind of safe, or if you're having any issues, you can get a hold of the developers. As far as on the overall stream, you can set up your overall streaming services as far as, and this is where you put in your stream key. So if you're curious where your stream key goes, this is exactly where you put it in. You just go to stream and then put everything in as far as you're in Twitch, YouTube, whatever you're trying to stream to. That's how you can set it all up. As far as your output, for the most part, pretty simple here. If you're wanting to stream in like 1080p, you're wanting to look around like a 6,000 bit rate if you possibly can. That's the overall max that you should be kind of looking at and trying to be able to be in around that bit range. You're looking at like 720p, probably around like 4,500. But in general, just a lot of different kind of breakdowns and a lot of different videos that kind of show you as far as on how to set up your overall video bit rate for your overall streaming. But we're just kind of showing you in Streamlabs in a nutshell today, so we won't be going too in depth with that one. As far as in your recording paths, you can set it up to be able to show your overall recording. So again, you can see in the bottom right here that I'm currently recording. So I use Streamlabs OBS for my recording on YouTube, and then I also use it for actually streaming. So a lot of different things you can use it for. Audio, not a whole lot that's too crazy in here. You'll set up your overall breakdown in your mic. So I have my Audio Technica and then my overall mixer set up through it. So everything runs through the mic auxiliary device 1. Same thing with your overall default desktop as far as that's my headset, but it just kind of depends on what your defaults are set up to. In your video, this is where you would have your base canvas resolution. You'd be able to set it up as far as on what you're wanting to stream to. Again, bitrate does matter there too, so just keep that in mind as far as what you're streaming to. 1920 by 1080 though, like I said, I put mine on 6,000 bitrate, and then it's 1920 by 1080. So whatever your canvas and scaled is. I've seen a lot of issues in the past, so this in theory does not actually make sense when I say this, so keep that in mind, and I also agree that it doesn't make sense. But just make sure that your canvas and scaled are the same regardless of whatever you have it set on. So if you're doing 720, then make sure both are at 720. I've seen a lot of issues in the past, a lot of streamers that I help out. Say I used to run my own streamers network and helped a lot of people out and still do to this day. But in general, not having those the same for whatever reason in Streamlabs OBS, there's a little bit of a bug that makes it so that you have a lot of frame rate drop issues. I haven't personally seen that too much in like content like for videos, but if you're streaming, just make sure they're the same. Doesn't really change much for you, keeps it pretty simple. And of course your common FPS values as far as 30 to 60. And you set up hotkeys as far as on what you'd like to have. I personally don't use any, but you can do everything as far as like start recording, stop recording, everything of that nature is pretty simple, nothing too crazy. Then you can actually have it like set up to hide everything here and switch to certain scenes. As far as an advanced, not really too much that we'll go into there, but in general, there's quite a few different metrics there as far as on what you can get into as far as in your network. As far as on scene collections, you can export your overlay files or import your overlay files. If you put a lot of work into this, this is a great tool. I've used this a few times whenever I was switching over my PC to the new one for overall streaming. Then I took everything and I exported it out, imported it in. It was pretty flawless. I had one issue with it, but otherwise most of everything came in. And I have a lot of different green screen effects. As you can tell, I have a green screen. So if you have anything that you put a lot of work into and you don't want to lose all that time, then that's a nice thing. I've had it before that happened. I didn't do this, and I literally spent 10 hours or so probably actually just putting everything back together, trying to remember what I had, and it's definitely a pain. All right, next here we'll just be going over as far as on the left-hand side here. Again, we just kind of went over the options. So I'll just be taking a look as far as on like our dashboard, for instance. So actually dashboard is going to be able to pop it up as far as on our actual dashboard for Twitch. So we'll go ahead and pull this up here. You'll see the display capture as far as what's kind of showing here. This will be everything as far as within streamlabsobs.com. So this is exactly where you go to be able to check out everything and then set up your overall alert boxes. It's exactly where you go. Again, we won't go over this stream or this video, sorry, because it's pretty in depth, and I'll kind of show it in another video, but that's how you kind of see as far as your cloud bot. You can set up your merch, a lot of different things you can kind of do in this far overall setup. And as far as from there, you can go to your layout editor. So this one's pretty nice here, so you can actually set it up as far as on how you would like everything to look. So for instance, my stream display is on the top, so I'll go ahead and save changes here. And you'll see that now we have it here in the middle as far as on my OBS. It's dropped down here and all my alerts are above. So it depends on how you like to set it up, but something that you can kind of tinker with. And I'm gonna go ahead and switch mine back because this is how I like it and that's how I'm used to it. Otherwise though, you can kind of set it up in studio mode. So you can see here as far as on your editing and then also your live, you can transition everything over. That's how everything would kind of look there as far as on studio. And then as far as on there's get help, as far as if there is anything that you do need, you can actually contact Streamlabs OBS directly and be able to get help from them. And then if you wanted to log out, that's exactly where you click is right here. As far as on the top left here, you'll be able to see this is our exact editing screen here. So nothing too crazy. It's exactly where we're at right now. So that's where you go to. If you're going to jump into here, you'll be able to see as far as on their Prime layouts, as far as on actual backgrounds. They have animated backgrounds. You can sign up to Prime for basically $12 a month. It used to be free whenever I did start, but you can basically get set up though, and you can actually get a lot of different kind of different backgrounds with animated, and really it's a lot cheaper than probably if you just got on Fiverr and looked at people. But you know, you can basically take a look here and jump in, kind of cruise through and see which one you really like. So for this one, for instance, you can see it's animated here on the starting soon, and you have these all overall overlays and just a lot of different things you can kind of grab from. So if you're not very artistic like me, then this is probably for you. So make sure to check it out, be able to check that out there. Cloud bot, this is basically a bot that's set up as far as that you can structure in Streamlabs OBS to kind of help you out with everything. So this would be as far as like caps protection, word protection, everything as far as whenever you're actually streaming. You set up cloud bot for your stream to kind of monitor everything for you and be kind of a mod for you. So if you're brand new and don't really have any mods, great, this is what you can utilize. And then same thing, even if you do have mods that are maybe intermediate and not everybody's around all the time, this makes it so you don't personally have to be, you know, looking out for, you know, the random trolls who are coming in and kind of messing with you. But otherwise, you know, everything here, you can set up everything. You can put in slots, there's dual, a lot of different modules as far as on the mini games. You can set up your overall commands. I personally have everything set up through what's called Streamlabs chatbot. So it depends on what you'd like to do. So I'll go ahead and pull that up just so you can kind of see it here. So let's go ahead and loading up. I'll go ahead and keep talking through here though. You set up your timers as far as when it'll post things in chat. And then again, Streamlabs chatbot kind of loading up here. Your overall giveaways, betting, polls, your store, that'd be for your merch. A lot of different things that you can kind of have set up with your overall cloud bot. And to enable it, you just click it right here, but you can structure everything here and basically everything set up how you'd like to. Again, this would be your overall chat bot. So this is Streamlabs chatbot, it's a separate system. I do it the same exact way, but I just turn this on every stream, and this is where I kind of send my song requests through and everything of that nature. So a lot of different things you can kind of do with it. But otherwise though, we'll take a look. This is your app store. So again, this will be everything as far as on that you can kind of look at overlays, but there's also a lot of different things you can kind of look in through here. But as far as a whole though, that would be everything here kind of starting out. Other than at the bottom left here, you can kind of see as far as on your overall stream, if you are currently online, where your overall stats are, so your CPU usage, your overall FPS, drop frames is a good thing to monitor. It will pop up here if you are having drop frames, and then also just for your cloud backup, etc. This would be to open your overall notifications. So don't have any right now, but if you have notifications window as far as the Streamlabs OBS, again, if you're dropping frames, you can have it up on another monitor and it'll kind of alert you to that. And I almost forgot, we forgot to go over the overall sponsor of this video. It's actually Peace Tea. Just kidding, guys. We're not sponsored by anybody. That's crazy talk. We don't have any sponsors. We're just doing this for the fun of it, just kind of teach everybody. But in general, we'll go ahead and keep going here. So as far as on our overall next steps is just kind of how to set up your overall videos and scenes and sources, etc. As far as you see here, this is your overall breakdown as far as on your selection, as far as in your collections of kind of where you want to utilize everything. So as far as I won't click on any different ones here because it'd take me out of here, but as far as on my actual stream, this will be everything as far as whenever I'm streaming to Twitch. I have a lot of different green screen things in there, probably about 25, 30 different selections as far as on scenes. Then I also do like casting here. So that's the Guard Esports one. I do casting. So you can actually set it up as far as on where you want to have your exact breakdowns at. So you don't have to have everything cluttered. So when you're doing certain things, and you can set up everything that way. I already had this one set up though. So pretty much all you have to do though is just to be able to set up a new one, just set up and kind of do an untitled one or whatever you want, title it however you'd like. But jumping into here, your scenes, whenever we hit add, we can do new scene and we'll just call it tutorial 1.0. So we already have the tutorial one there set up. And then whenever we jump in here, so we can have our Brio webcam, we'll go ahead and bring this over. Actually, we'll bring up both over. So you can actually just copy here. So one nice tool too to remember in the future. You can just copy and then bring everything over and paste reference. So that's the beautiful thing about it, is that you can kind of bring everything over and set up your sources. So pretty simple there. So you can see you can switch back and forth. We're still on the same ones. If I click off the overall the site here, so again this eye right here, it'll take off your sources if you'd like to, and also if you lock them, so then I can't do anything with the overall source as far as on being able to move it. So if you see I'm trying to grab here, I'm unable to, but if I unlock it, I can actually move it around. So in general, that's how you can kind of manipulate everything in there for yourself. But again, if I turn off the overall webcam and I switch back, you can see that switching back between each one, then you actually have it a little bit different here for you. So kind of taking a look here at the tutorial one, we'll go ahead and get rid of this one here real quick. That's all you have to do to remove it too. You just right click and then get rid of it. But in general, we'll go ahead and continue on here. This will be your sources. So you can add groups as far as on putting multiple sources at the same time if you wanted to. I don't use this feature a whole lot, but still an option for you if you would like to do that. So it keeps it a little bit easier for you. But in general, you'll go ahead and hit add. There's a lot of different things in here. So what I was saying is that this is a very intricate system. There's a lot of different things that you can do with it. So don't get too afraid of it. There's a lot of different things you can do here as far as what you'd like to add, but we'll just start going down the list and I can kind of explain it to you. So image, you can see add images to your scene, and it always gives you a rough breakdown right here. So it'll kind of show you exactly what you're looking at as far as on what you can put in there. So as far as on your overall breakdown, if you see here that you had one that wasn't in this list, that means it's not going to work. So pretty self-explanatory, nothing too crazy there, but we would just add source, and then we can put in like my RL web wallpaper, for instance. So I'll go ahead and add the source, and you'll see here it takes precedent over me. And then now for here, we'll see that we have layering. So you can drag this down and you'll see I'll be above it. So again, if you wanted to be able to have this come above, so we'll actually just go ahead and bring this up. We'll make the wallpaper a little bit smaller here just for an image piece. But as far as from that standpoint, you can see as far as if I bring it down into the layering of our display capture, because that's our main layer, display capture will be on the top. So now this one's gone. You can't see it because it's under that next layer. So think of it kind of just like a plane of papers, for instance. So if you're going to have the ones showing on top here, this is be the one that's showing first, and then you're going to have your second layer, your third layer, your fourth layer, etc. Then whatever's seen at the top here, though, that's what you're going to be able to view. So if there's anything under the second layer, you can't see it. Same exact way here. So anything that's down lower, so anything that's on the bottom, you'll see same things on the bottom, then that's not going to be able to be viewable. So same concept as far as on the webcam here. I can drag it behind the webcam. So it's pretty nice as far as if you had like your different overall box for webcam here, and you have a background here. So then you could set up your own box and you have a nice little backdrop here for you as far as whenever you're, producing your overall video content, just like you had seen at the beginning. This was just kind of expanded out in this format. So same concept there. But as far as on an image, we'll go ahead and hide this one here for now, and we'll just go ahead and apologize, but we'll just go ahead and move on to our next one here. Go and hide this one. We'll add source here, and then this one would be a browser source. So for this one, we'll just keep them all the same name, make this pretty easy. But for here, you'll be able to add a overall source as far as on what you would like to probably stream from an overall browser source. So same thing here, you'll see the browser source. This one can be utilized to actually set up like your alerts. So you'll see as far as on streamlabsobs.com, you can go in there and get your overall alerts set up, get everything going, which we'll do in a different video. I'll show you how to do all that as well. But for here, then you can set up the source. So we'll go here, and again, we don't have it linked to anything, but from there, you'd have your overall scene set up. I'm gonna go ahead and lock my background here so we stop grabbing that one. So we'll go ahead and set this up here, and then whenever you have alerts that play, then alert would play right here. So it'd have a, whatever image you have set up as far as through streamlabsobs.com, and it'd be able to work out just fine for you. So pretty nice there, but that's what the browser source would be for, and that's what you could utilize it for. So again, we'll go ahead and hide this one. Go and keep moving on. So image slideshow, I don't really use this one too much, other than for like sponsors. So I do use that as far as from that standpoint. But basically you can kind of get it set up here, and you can have a loop and set up a bunch of different images in here. You'll just add the image files. So you just hit add files and then get the next one in here. And basically it's just going to go onto a loop, and you can set it up as far as on the transition speed, and have everything kind of move through in unison for that one. So you'll see here kind of transforms as far as on the overall color. So if you have different logos, different colors, or like I said, I use it for sponsors. So mine just switches as far as on the overall sponsors, and I put mine in the top right here. And then I have it go blank every once in a while. So I'll just you can actually just put like a blank image in there so that it's not just consistently changing. Like you can see the colors and hues are just changing there. But then you have like a break for 5 seconds with an image, and then it'll just keep kind of going through the overall cycle. But pretty nice though, and you can always have whatever you want there. But like I said, I just use it for sponsors. You can use it however you'd like to. Display capture is actually exactly what we're using right here. So you're not gonna see too much different here, but you just add your overall display capture. Same thing again, this is what we already have here. And I'm just capturing my overall display as far as on OBS here. So for instance, if we wanted to go ahead and go to properties, and you actually do this as well, you can change it to your other display here. So if you want to switch to the other display, we'll have on this one, I have Google. I just have a few different like background pictures. I was just kind of looking at background of room with the ambient lighting. Nothing too crazy there, but just to kind of give you a version of that. But you'll see as far as right now that that's what you would be able to see. But again, we'll go ahead and switch back, and then you just hit done, and now you're back on here. So you can switch to whatever monitor you want to and be able to capture that exact display. So you can set up multiple of those if you wanted to, switch back and forth, and try and keep it a little bit more kind of specific. I just use one because I just move whatever I have onto that monitor, but you do whatever you'd like to basically. Game capture. So this is built in, works with most modern computer games. This is just a capture of the overall game. So we'll go ahead and add source here. And then as far as from that standpoint, you can capture any full screen application. So let me go ahead and move this one down real quick so you can kind of see what I'm working with. But we have right here, oops, I do apologize. We'd have right here as far as on the game capture. So I'm going to go ahead and launch up my Steam just real quick so that we can kind of show you here how this would work out. Oh, we have a few different things popping up here. Apologize about that. But as far as on Rocket League, then we would go ahead and get this popped up as far as on Rocket League. It'll pop up on our main screen here, and this would be showing on the display capture whenever it does pop up here. So in general though, we would capture any full screen application, or oops, I apologize, any specific window. And then you would go ahead and pick out what game you're wanting to look at here. So right here, then you'd hit done. And then from there, your overall game capture, we should be able to bring above. So we'd have Rocket League. So you can set it up as far as many games as you'd like to. And the nice thing is that you can have everything kind of set up as far as then have everything break down as far as in your game. So if you have like Dota, 7 Days to Die, whatever you kind of have there, it's nice. You can just kind of get everything kind of put together there. So if you wanted to create a new folder though, then you could just put, like for this one, for instance, we'll bring it down. Again, that's how you create the overall folders. And we'll just rename it here, and we'll say this is our games. So you want to keep it as far as in the same spot so that you don't have the layering issues, but you can put the game capture in here, and then whenever you close it down, then you won't have a bunch of them showing. So if you have like, if you're a variety streamer like me, I stream like 15, 20 different games. So it makes it a little bit easier for us from that standpoint if you put everything in one folder there. But we'll go ahead and close out of this here as far as in Rocket League, and then we'll bring our display capture not back up into there. Let's get right above that. Oh, man, I am just messing everything up now. Guys, don't worry. This is a professional tutorial. You guys just don't worry about it even one bit, okay? All right, so we'll bring games down there and have everything set up again. We'll go ahead and go into our next one here. So we have audio input capture. So this is any device that attaches to the computer for purpose of capturing sound, such as music or speech. So this could be like your USB microphones and any other USB devices. I personally don't use this because I run everything through my desktop specifically, and then you can just set it up as far as on the source on the side. So just to kind of show you what I'm talking about is that you would be able to go in as far as on your cog wheels over here, and then you can actually just set it up as far as on where you kind of want to go through. So it really depends on what you personally would like to do. You'd be able to set up everything this way. Same thing with like the mic, is that you could actually set up a couple different sources with mics that you'd want to use. So if I wanted to have this one and this one on, then you can kind of switch in between, back and forth between both. So if I like walked away from the computer, then I could still use this one just to chat if I really wanted to. So depends though. I mean, you can use it for a lot of different features there. NDI source. This is as far as allowing you to capture NDI output streams. Sorry. As far as for this one, I did use this one before. I did have a dual PC setup, and then I upgraded, and I'll have it on one source now. So NDI source, basically, you can kind of utilize to be able to capture one image and then portray it to like the other computer, however you like. There's a lot of different things you can kind of do with it. Like I said, NDI source video, you can probably learn a bit more as far as if you were interested in what NDI is. Color sourcing, this is add a color to the background of your whole scene or just a part. So you can actually add color sources here. So again, this is just simply literally color sources. So you'll add whatever color you want. Then this would add your overall image as far as a color source. So pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory on that one. Media source. This is for like MP4 files, anything of that nature. So there's a lot of different fun things you can kind of do with these. I use these quite a bit as far as on my overall stream. So let's see here. 1 second, and I can kind of take a look as far as on getting a file here. So we'll go ahead and get one popped up here. So this is like a Ace and CSGO that I got. But I mean, you can use it for a lot of different things as far as like fun GIFs or anything of that nature. So it's just a video as far as on what you kind of like to play, but you could also show it midstream, like I said, as far as kind of like this video, as far as showing that overall Ace and really whatever you kind of want to do with it. So that's kind of the nice thing about it. And again, you know, you can always just full screen them and whatever you'd like to. As far as when we're kind of looking at this, since we're already here, you can also transform. This is pretty nice too, as far as whenever you're trying to get everything corrected, so you can actually fit to screen. So again, if I show this back to you, you'll see I can kind of bring it down here, transform, and we'll go ahead and fit to screen. So
let's go, boys.
So this one clip as far as it should be in
let's go
anyways, but either way, it would go ahead and kick back to your original screen there after it is finished up. But as far as a little bit more as far as on the overall, we'll kind of hit a little bit more on the transform part because it is a pretty interesting feature. But you can also flip it horizontally. So if you see, like I'm looking here, I don't have to flip it horizontally. As far as, oops, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one because I can't really see it very well. But if you go ahead and transform, then you'll go ahead and, let me go ahead and look here for a second. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I'm looking at this right. Here we go. So if we do that, then you see I'm just going to be switching how I'm looking here. So again, flip horizontally, so you can set it up however you'd like to. So you're kind of looking at certain spots or however you'd like to structure it there. But you can also rotate it. So you can see I can rotate my overall perspective here. So kind of silly different things that you can do there. But then, and then CCW, that's just, you know, counterclockwise, clockwise, and then again, stretch the screen. So I can look, you know, really awkward as far as the overall setup. And you can kind of, you know, play with it however you'd like to. So pretty fun there. You can kind of use transform and makes things a lot easier. And then Control Z also is kind of backspace of anything if you don't like anything. If you guys don't know that about most programs, it's pretty simple. Let's hit on this real quick. So if we did this, I didn't like it, then I'll just hit Control Z here and it switches right back. So you can't see it from my perspective there as far as on the keyboard, but Control Z, Z as in zebra, and that'll kind of back you up there. Go ahead and move on here. So this is text. So if you have like a different message that you want to put up on here, so you can, you know, put whatever you'd kind of like to. So add source, and then we'll just say Streamlabs OBS tutorial. You can see here that you can put it in top right, however you'd like to, wherever you'd like to put it at. A lot of different things you can kind of do in the properties as well. You can change the overall colors of it. So we've made it red. Make it red if you'd like to. Again, properties, how you kind of get back to everything here. And you can put background colors and a lot of different things you can kind of do with it. Change the overall font family. So use Cambria if you really wanted to. And then you just kind of readjust here. Looks really awkward with that one. I'm not sure why that turned out so weird. Arial black. There we go. Not sure why that one looked so weird. But and then again, so you see this one got huge, so we can go ahead and use that transform feature is the nice thing. So we can kind of get it all in one spot there. So we'll go ahead and center it on the screen, and then we can also transform it as far as on fit to screen. So right here, then it's kind of nice. You can utilize it for that feature. Transform's pretty nice because a lot of different things kind of get a little bit wonky on here sometimes. So just keep in mind transform's a nice one to kind of utilize there. Window capture, this is a specific window that's open on your computer. So again, this is pretty much like what we kind of see with display capture. So we'll go ahead and open this one up. Let me drag this down to the bottom here. But for this one here, you can capture whatever you have currently open. So for instance, I have like my Adobe Premiere. So I'll go ahead and get this one popped up here, and you can kind of see my Adobe Premiere now. Oops, 1 second here. So this is my Adobe Premiere as I'm actually creating the video, just making certain segments and then putting it in there. So pretty simple, nothing too crazy about it. But that'd be your overall window capture, that'd be your window capture device, and you'd be able to get that set up, and then you can just capture whatever window you'd like to. You kind of switch back and forth between those. Video capture device. This is as far as on your overall built-in webcam, Logitech webcam, etc. I already set up my webcam earlier, so you already see Brio webcam. But this is how you'd kind of add it. We would add it here. So you'll see a duplicate of me now. As far as on the overall properties, you can set it up, and as far as on picking which one you want to. So if you have multiple webcams, that's how you kind of set it up. So I've had it as far as on my stream that I have multiple webcams as far as showing different things, as far as different perspectives. A lot of people kind of put them on their keyboard. So you can do that as far as on having 2 different ones there. So moving on here, we'll have the audio output capture. Not something that I usually use too much, so it's your desktop audio for purpose of playing sounds such as music or speech. I have never really used this one, just to be completely honest. So, but that's how you'd be able to use your overall desktop audio in this one. And as far as on scene, it allows you to add existing scene as a source. So you just add the overall source, and then if you already had this set up as far as on a source, then you can just add another one basically. So you have your scene, intro screen, and you'd be able to set it up as a source. So I won't go too depth in that one. It's just basically taking the scene, makes it as a source. That'd be everything as far as on the overall setup here, though, as far as on adding your overall sources. So you can utilize this for a lot of different things, like I said. So it goes pretty in depth there as far as on different things you can do. And then as far as on widgets, these are a lot of different things you can do with Streamlabs OBS. I won't go too in detail with these. I'll probably do this in a separate video. But again, you can set up your alert box. So like we had talked about earlier, as far as on setting up with the Streamlabs OBS, as far as on that capture device, you can actually just add the source literally, and then it'd be your alert box, and everything's set up through here for you, and you can get everything kind of put together. So if you have bits, donations, you can put everything up in through here. So it's kind of a nice little system. You can kind of get everything set up and put it however you'd like to. So that's kind of the nice thing here, is that everything's kind of built in. Again, it's a very intricate system, and then you can have everything already good to go. So if you wanted to test the widgets, then I can test follow. So it's going to play twice there. So. But generally, that's just going to be your overall alert box. So apologize, it's probably pretty loud there as far as on the 2 there. But that's how you'd play everything. So pretty simple. That's how you get your alert box set up. Again, streamlabsobs.com. That's where you'd go to get everything set up as far as on your alerts. And like I said, I'll do that in a different video. Otherwise, though, you can set up follower goals. So you can add your sources, and really simple here. Like I'll just hit on these, just a couple here. You can set up a goal as far as on your next follower goal of what you're trying to get to. And it would pop up like this. So pretty simple. Like I said, I won't go too much further as far as on that particular part. But in general, that would be pretty much everything there as far as on just how to get started on Streamlabs OBS. Again, as you can tell when we're kind of going through that tutorial, is that there's a lot more that we can cover and kind of go into. It's very in-depth. It took me a long time to learn everything on Streamlabs OBS, so I'm more than happy to share that wealth of knowledge, and I'll definitely go as far as in a little bit more in-depth in the future with some other videos, and we'll kind of dive into certain ones. So make sure to comment below on different things that you personally would like to see or know a little bit more about. So let me know, and I can definitely dive way more in depth as far as on certain little areas of Streamlabs OBS. If you saw something and you were just thinking, well, I wonder how this works as far as I'm getting further into it, let me know. Like I said, this is just a basic line overview just to help out somebody just get used to Streamlabs OBS and trying how to tinker on it and getting everything kind of set up for themselves. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching the overall video. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, be able to help out support the channel, and I can definitely help keep moving forward, making more videos and producing the content, try and make more of these tutorial videos to help you kind of advance your streaming career, or as far as on your video content creation, moving it forward. But otherwise, I do stream on Twitch, and also I do have Twitter and Instagram. You can see that down in the overall section below. I have it everything as far as on my socials. Make sure to follow me all those and help support, and you'll be able to see as far as whenever I have new video creation coming out. And hopefully this video helped you out and kind of getting your overall Streamlabs OBS started. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.